Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you the step-by-step approach that you can take to learn coding and get a data science job in 2025. Many of you think that because we have AI tools and large language models that we don't need to learn how to code because we have everything at hand. But that's far from being the truth, because you need to understand the basics and you also need to understand the technicalities of the code, because otherwise you will end up getting whatever code and doing whatever analysis and never knowing if what you're doing is correct or is not. AI have this tendency to hallucinate. They're always made to give you answers. So even if they don't have an answer, they give you something. And if you don't understand your code, you'll end up copy-pasting things that are wrong, and it's best for you to get the basics right, do some hands-on yourself, and then obviously leverage AI and large language models to speed up the process and even be more accurate. But there is nothing better than you knowing the basics and then using those tools. Number one is start with the basics. Most data scientists use Python, so go and learn Python. You have amazing sources like Code Academy, Free Code Camp, and there are so many really good free and paid resources out there. I covered many videos about where to go and learn for free and find certifications and courses. You can go and check them on my YouTube channel, but start with whatever resources and make sure that you do lots of hands-on and you don't just stay and watch videos all day long, because in the end you only learn by doing and not by watching. Number two is master core data science libraries. There are a few that are very essential for you to master as a beginner, and those are Pandas for data cleaning, exploration and wrangling. This one is very useful to do all sorts of manipulation with your data. And then there is NumPy to handle numerical computations, and to visualize you have a few like Matplotlib, Seaborn and Plotly. I really like Plotly, it's really pretty and it's really nice to use, and when you report, everyone likes it, so I recommend highly Plotly as well. Of course, there are many more libraries that I will mention at some point for statistics, machine learning, but for now, these are the core ones that you need to master in order to start your journey as a data scientist. Number three is practice SQL or SQL. A lot of people overlook it. They think they can do everything with Python. This is quite true. You can do a lot of things with Python and a lot of complex things with Python. But many times when you work within a company, you have to query the data from databases, and just that basic fact of knowing how to query, what to query, how to join tables, and do all these things is very valuable. So it's always good to have good basics in SQL, do some practice, so whenever you have to query data from a database, you're sharp enough to go and do it, bring it, export it to a CSV, and then you can do all sorts of analysis with Python. Number four is learn machine learning basics. Machine learning is the basis of all the evolution that we saw with AI, language models, and all those things. So getting a grasp of machine learning is very important. Some of the most used and famous algorithms that we have in machine learning are classification, regression, and clustering. So being familiar about when do we use each and every one of these and what libraries we use in them is very useful. For example, we use scikit-learn a lot in some basic models, and it can be used in any categories that I mentioned before, like classification, regression, or clustering. So scikit-learn is a good choice for you to start and start having some practice and hands-on. Then you have TensorFlow or PyTorch, and these are usually for neural networks, and we talk about deep learning. So if we see machine learning as a huge part of the spectrum, deep learning is within it, and it requires a little bit of advanced computing and neural networks, and we have very famous libraries like TensorFlow and PyTorch that are leading the market in this. So it's always worth going and reading the papers on them, watching tutorials on them, and doing lots of hands-on using these libraries. And we have plenty of machine learning models like XGBoost, linear regression, logistic regression, decision tree. There are so many. It's always good to go and understand what are the particularities of each and every one, give them a try, and you get to know what works and what doesn't in certain situations. If you're enjoying this video so far, remember to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any topics that you want me to cover deeper in this channel, please just let me know and I'll make sure to put it on my list and make a video on it. Next is build real projects. When you're looking for a job, the worst thing that you can do is just to sit and watch tutorials or do some certifications that will not add much value. What employers want and what will give you more chances to get hired or just to have interviews is to showcase that you can deliver in certain contexts. And the best way to do it is to pick up a few projects and go do the full analysis, the reporting, and showcase your results on GitHub, on your website. Just make it visible for others to see your work. The best way to do it usually is to pick up something real, a real data set from a friend or for someone that has a business, and help them do the analysis and machine learning and all those things and deliver some real value. But if not, there are some data sets that you can find in Kaggle. Usually they're quite good, but it's quite static, it's already quite pre-cleaned and everything. But for a beginner, for some practice, it's still good, but always try to add a touch on top of what is already existing. Because nowadays anyone can go, just grab a code that is already made, put them on their own GitHub, and you can't really stand out if you do it that way. And here are some complementary tips that worked for me. The first one is use LinkedIn. You need to have a personal brand these days in order for you to stand out and to have the opportunity to speak to other people, whether they are recruiters or directly founders, CEOs of companies. When you're active on LinkedIn, especially as a data scientist, there are so many doors that open for you. I can't emphasize it enough. I tell it to people all the time on LinkedIn. They come and contact me. I even made an ebook showing how I managed to get a job in the UK as a data scientist. And one of the top tips for me is always to use LinkedIn, share content, network with people, just engage, be active, and you end up creating this network of opportunities where you can help people and people can help you as well. So don't underestimate the power of using LinkedIn. Next is do freelancing along the way. Freelancing has helped me a lot. When I was in university, I had the good idea to do some freelance projects alongside of my studies, and I ended up gaining some traction, earning a little bit of money. That opened many doors for me, because at the time it was best to have a graduate that already had 1 year of experience as a freelancer than having a graduate that had 0 years of experience. So if you're a student or someone pursuing a master's or a PhD, always remember to do freelancing along the way. It can only benefit you. Yes, it can be slow at the beginning. Yes, maybe the pay is not the best at the beginning, but you're just gaining experience, and that's just fine. And even if you're a professional and you're looking for your next job, you can now on the side try to have some freelance projects so you can just keep working, keep doing things, earning some money until the point where you can get your full-time opportunity. And if you need help learning any of those skills, Google AI Studio just released this amazing feature where you can communicate directly with the AI, showing your screen, speaking via audio, and it can explain to you things step by step so that you can learn and apply new concepts. You can find the video just here. I made a full tutorial on it, and hopefully it can help you. Thank you for watching.